Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Monday, May 4th, 2026. May the 4th be with you. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby. Ayo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. On today's pod, we're going to preview both semifinal matchups that tip tonight. We're right into the second round here. We got Sixers, Knicks, and Wolves, Spurs. We'll break those down a little bit later. But first, we got some Game 7s to dig our teeth into. And we'll start with the Cavaliers beating our Raptors. Sunday night. Jared Allen. The lights weren't too bright this time for Jared Allen.
This is a sunglasses game for Jared Allen.
Perfect. But they get it done there. You know, end of the second quarter task, big third quarter from Jared Allen, from Cleveland, blew the game open, and it was too much for the Raptors to overcome there in the fourth. In a series where it was deadlocked, tied through 6.5 games, because it was tied at half of this. That's how even these two teams had played through the first round, but Cavs take care of business in the third and the second half.
Yeah, Jared Allen credited Sam Merrill for the way they ended the second quarter. He said, Sam said this whole series, we haven't closed out the second quarter. We took all that to heart. We all looked at ourselves and decided that now was the time to do it. And yeah, that's where it stretched out.
Big time.
At the beginning of this game, I thought, oh, we're getting a bad Jared Allen game. He missed that dunk to start.
Clunked it.
The Evan Mobley turnover, and then he steps out of bounds. What up with that? He misses his shot. The Raps gave it away at the end of the second quarter, and then the way the third quarter went, where you get these random things happening. You get a Max Strus dancing with the ball. You get James Harden out in the open with that beautiful steal. You don't see nice that from James Harden. So they start doing that, and then Allen was awesome. The Evan Mobley to start that third quarter. I think they went to him purposefully after an offensive rebound. Yeah, they took it away from the Toronto Raptors in what's going to be a classic Toronto Raptors first round series. I don't care that it's a first round series. I'm always going to remember this first round series for everything they did, starting with Scotty Barnes, his breakout series in the playoffs, looking extremely good, pushing every single possible ball up the floor. It didn't matter if it was a missed free throw. That guy putting it on his back in a series where you could say the Raptors were going to lose this thing. Brandon Ingram doesn't look anything like himself. They don't have their starting point guard, Emmanuel Quickly. Jakob Poeltl didn't play it all that well. So you got three guys drop out, and Darko Rajovic and the rest of the team absolutely realized, okay, what are we going to do? So the way they acted and threw Jacoby Walter into the starting lineup, and you get the heart of a Jamal Shed in this series. Colin Murray-Boyle's also his breakout series. So all those things combined, it's a classic for the Toronto Raptors, even though, right now it's bitter, it's tough. But it's one of those first round series that I'm always going to say, whoa, that was a good one.
You're going to be telling your grandkids about losing Game 7 to the Cavs.
Not that part. Oh. I'm going to tell them about the first 7. Hey, listen, I think Donovan Mitchell and the way he was defended by the Toronto Raptors from games 3 to game 7, he averaged 20 points. A guy who averages 28, almost 29 coming into the series. That was fantastic. They threw him off. All the bodies that they threw around him. So they responded really, really well. They don't have the offensive weapons right now. Let's talk about Domantas Sabonis maybe coming to the Toronto Raptors. They don't have all the weapons, but they adapted really, really well.
I thought this was an awesome performance from the Cavs, and I think if you're a Cleveland fan, you got to be super excited. Hey, we just out-physical the team in the playoffs. Yep. Can you believe it?
We won without Mitchell or Harden carrying us offensively, even in a Game 7.
Exactly. Jared Allen really showed me something in the second half. He was on my all-disappointing team. He was my second draft pick, and then in that third quarter, had a double-double, blocked a couple of shots on the same possession. That was awesome. He grabbed his own free throw miss twice in the same quarter. 60-33 rebounding advantage for the Cavaliers. That should have been a strength of theirs the entire series. It wasn't, but in Game 7, Jared Allen really got busy, and that's just what you need to see from a team like this that has fallen short, mostly because it feels like they get out-efforted in playoff series. They didn't in this one. It was a tough series to win. They came through with a lot of players making plays. I'm with you, like Max Strus. The dribbles were cool. That was an awesome shot, but he was making threes. His defense on Scotty Barnes was incredible.
Took multiple
I couldn't believe
charges.
this was the guy they chose, and he's like, "Guess what? I'm a white guy. I can be an irritant too." And that's what he was playing. He had
even
Bevan in the
headbutted
face
him.
for no reason. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Evil Max with the long hair, but he was embracing his role. I thought Jalen Tyson was pretty solid, making 3-pointers, making plays out of the short rolls, and most importantly, in the second half, the Cavs never turned the ball over. They had 13 turnovers in the first half. That's how the Raptors built their lead. Only 3 in the second half, which made things tougher for Toronto in half-court situations. And, Mitchell didn't play great. Harden didn't play great, but they also weren't bad,
Yeah.
Harden didn't have a very good first half, I didn't think, but he didn't turn the ball over 11 times, which has happened in a game 7. Instead, he just went to the free throw line time after time after time. Got a steal. Like, he was doing little things too. This was a pretty veteran win, I thought, from the Cavs.
Kenny Atkinson said, that's the best I've ever seen Jared Allen play, especially in that third quarter where he took over.
Okay.
He was great. Might be true, exactly. But that run, that 49-21 run over the 15 minutes, again, end of the second quarter, into the third quarter, they were converting Toronto turnovers. Like you said, you brought up the Harden one. It was like, whoa, James Harden getting his hand on a ball.
What a steal.
A little sloppy or a little lazy, I guess, from RJ Barrett because he's not expecting Harden to do that and goes the other way. And then the offensive rebounds, a lot of points there. They figured out they needed to play with a little more pace too, I thought, and started dissecting Toronto's defense. They started using that great defense against them and going through their big. So that was impressive. You brought up Max Strus. Yeah, despite the headbutt, he was really good otherwise. And Sam Merrill, too. Gave him some threes, gave him some, obviously, stretching the floor a little bit, 13 points. Everybody chipped in there for Cleveland to get it done in the end. I wasn't feeling confident as a Raptors fan, despite it being tied at the half, because it felt like it was one of those games where you're like, wow, I feel like we have outplayed them for a majority of this first half, and we're tied. Even when they were up there and had a lead, it was like, God, we're only up X points. Feels like we've completely outclassed them here so far. And we came with energy on the road. Scotty Barnes right from the jump, scoring a couple of times, but could never obviously, increase the lead and gave it all back at the end of the second quarter. And I was like, uh-oh. This will probably be decided here in the first couple minutes of the third quarter because they're just running out of steam here too. And of course, down on a bunch of guys and bodies, but valiant effort. I'm with you, Taz. I don't know if I'll remember it like you're saying you will forever, but if it's the building block to a team that starts to win series and has more success, then maybe. With the core, like you said, Scotty Barnes proving he's a number one guy. RJ Barrett did have a really good series. Bit of a clunker in game 7, unfortunately, shooting the ball. And then all the young guys. I mean, CMB, awesome. Shed, Walter. So hopefully it's a building block. But the shot was cool on Friday night.
The shot was really cool.
That was cool.
That was a great bounce.
That was super cool. I've already bought a mug with the actual shot and how it happened, the design of it, how it happened.
Yeah. Well, he literally is going to remember this series forever. Every time he has a coffee, he's going to remember it.
Yeah, I wouldn't usually buy something like that, but Brent Barry actually sent it to me.
Nice.
He sent me the link, and I said, all right,
wow.
I'll pay for that. I'll pay for the shipping. No problem. It's a cool design. And yeah, I'm not just caught in the moment. And Toronto Raptors have played so many bad just first-round series.
True.
And for this one to stand out as a Toronto Raptors fan, it's that part. It's obviously RJ Barrett hitting in his freaking barn in his hometown. There's that part. But just the effort level, like they were doing in the first half of this game. The offensive rebounds, the second chance points, the just taking every single charge, just that fight level that was happening. And it went away at the end of the second quarter, unfortunately, because the Cavs were ready to respond. So that lead just went poof. But yeah, I think it's more than just that one shot and more than just that mug. It's just a lot of 6 games of playing extremely hard for Darko Rajakovic. I shouldn't say 6 games, but they responded to that down 2-0. They could have easily faded.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a playoff series does bring a lot of clarity, right, in a particular series. And Blake Murphy, our guy, he put it well. This series for the Raptors side of things really affirmed the things you got excited about over the course of the season, yes, and similarly affirmed the areas that you were concerned about. That's true, too. So interesting offseason here for the Raptors, sort of handcuffed in terms of the financials with their books and this team. It's pretty apparent you do want shooting around Scotty Barnes, especially if now he's proven, wow, this guy really brings it in a playoff series and he can be the number one guy. But you got the quickly contract of it all, doesn't play. Ingram, fit maybe still weird with his contract. Pirtle, brutal. I mean, even in Game 7 here, it was like, get him off, man.
Yeah.
It's like he gave them next to nothing an entire series. There was maybe a 5-minute stretch where he played okay.
Yes.
So
He had some moments in Toronto where he wasn't brutal.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the first and foremost issue is the Ingram issue, because they're a different team with 3-point shooters around them, and with Ingram being overtaken by guys who can play defense and are comfortable not just being ISO guys. So this team layout is it's not so much quickly Ingram and then Pirtle. I think it's primarily Ingram and then the Pirtle. And so quickly as a 3-point shooter would have been fantastic in this series, just to see how that would have worked out. But yes, I bring up the Sabonis rumors here about the Toronto Raptors being the leader. If the Kings want to move on from him, there's that whole issue with the Kings. But straight up, Ingram for Domantas Sabonis, got to do it. If you're the Toronto Raptors, I know it's a weird world, but you got to do it.
Probably right.
As a guy who's, we'll get to previewing Karl Anthony Towns as sort of this pillar of an offense who can just dish everywhere. That's what Sabonis would be in a team that you need that, along with a quickly coming in to spread that floor a little bit and hit those threes. That's what you're looking at. But I don't know why the Kings would do something like that. They shouldn't. But you never know with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I mean, they might be saying goodbye to one DeMar DeRozan. Maybe they want to get another DeMar DeRozan. And the thing is, it's just going to be hard for the Raptors to improve. Yeah. This is going to be their team next year, unless they want to trade RJ Barrett. And maybe they could. He was pretty good in the playoffs, I thought.
Absolutely. I think he shut up some of the
hometown
haters.
boy. It's hard to trade him.
Yeah, he hit a mug-worthy shot. You're going to ship him out?
Now you hope somewhere out there, one of those 29 teams will take on Brandon Ingram to be a team that needs a score. But he also makes a lot of money.
Yeah. We'll talk more about the Cavs here when we obviously set up their series tomorrow when we get into the Pistons and Cavs. But any other notes from Game 7 there on Sunday night?
Quite the dive by Donovan Mitchell into probably the third row of the stands. It looked like he leapt over both the first and second row. And then Reggie, right on the spot. I saw his foot was stuck. So I unstuck his foot. Yeah.
That was very kind.
They were talking feet a lot there in the second half after that one. What a hero.
Donovan Mitchell, the guy who flies into the crowd the most out in the NBA, right?
He does a lot.
He does,
He has, for sure.
Am I misremembering earlier in the series? Didn't he do it earlier in the series? Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I think you're right.
That was fantastic. There was that fan in the front row as Scotty Barnes came up to see what's going on there, grabbed Scotty Barnes' hand. I didn't know what he was doing. Was he saying, "Thank you for not diving on me, Scotty Barnes," because he was literally just standing there, or wishing him well? I think it was, thank God I didn't get dived on, because he was right beside everything that happened. Reggie was cool though.
Yeah.
Thanks, Reg.
Mitchell came over and gave him a high five afterwards. He's like, "You did help my foot out there." I also liked Jared Allen got fouled really hard in the first half. Was that AJ Lawson maybe? Hit him up around the shoulders or something like that.
Yeah, it was AJ
and Jared
Lawson.
Allen popped up so fast. Everybody runs to the skirmish, but Jared Allen just went to the free throw line. They're like,
Yeah.
I guess we're not fighting now.
Yeah. But Jared Allen did play with for him, an edge.
He played with an edge.
Absolutely in this game. And I guess they were even talking about it in his pregame sort of warm-ups and how he was approaching the starting lineups. It was like, oh, Allen's locked in here today. He doesn't sort of carry himself like that, sort of that alpha dog.
That was
or whatever.
rare.
But he came obviously and brought it. And he was huge. He was really, really huge. The 22, 19 rebounds. Nearly had the big beef there in a Game 7. That is not nothing in a series that at times was a goddamn dogfight and dragged into the mud. And that's the Raptors' best chance to win the game.
In a series where he struggled, in all honesty, until Game 7. He was not himself.
Okay, so let's keep it going because we got lots to talk about here. And again, we'll talk Cavs Pistons tomorrow. But Pistons are there in the second round. They finished the comeback, coming back from 3-1 hole against the Orlando Magic with the Game 7 rout. So they advanced to the East Semifinals for the first time since 2008. And yeah, it was done in dramatic fashion in totality for sure. Coming back, TK, what do you think of Game 7 Pistons Magic?
Do we need to fill out the Tobias Harris apology form? Wow. This guy played the best quarter of his career in the second quarter of Game 7, going for 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting. he played pretty well for the entirety of the game too, finishing with 30, doing his 3 to the ear celebration quite a few times. Like he did it so many times that even at the end he was like, all right, I mean, I've been playing so well, I got to keep doing it. The first one he was like strutting down the court and stuff, and it just kind of like, okay.
You got to keep doing it, man.
Yeah, when you're having that kind of game. That's 17 points though in the third quarter to the point where Cade Cunningham at the end of the quarter was like, just you, ISO, man. Go do something. He missed, but still. The confidence was there, and it really flipped the script in the game. The second half turned into a blowout because nobody on the Magic could score outside of Paolo Banchero. The Magic are the weirdest 8th seed that we've seen through the first 4 games. We're like, this isn't a normal 8th seed. They could have been a 5 seed. And then in the last 3 halves of this series, they scored 19 points, 49 points, and 45 points.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's really bad. That's like so bad that you would maybe fire your coach after losing this series.
Oh, breaking news. Jamahl Mosley is gone.
Yeah, he gone. But at least the Magic fought in this one. Probably the series turns out differently if Franz Wagner's able to keep playing.
Yeah.
Because in the last 3 games, Cade Cunningham went for 36 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists on 68% true shooting. They had no matchup for him once Franz went out. So Cade took over. Tobias did his thing. We got the best Jalen Duren game of the series in this one, which has to be at least a little encouraging going up against the Cavs in the next one. Dennis Jenkins had a good game. The Pistons showed up in game 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis Jenkins' best game, too. He was coming into this series shooting 26% from the floor, 14% from 3, and more than doubled his game high in this game with 16 points. He was feeling it. That was the Jenkins that we saw during the regular season, so everything that we expected, it all culminated in game 7. I wonder, it seems to be a storyline here. Guys perform in game 7 at home, even though they haven't been performing all series. Listen, Tobias Harris was good, and we all need to respect him. He was good for most of this series, although the threes were not falling for this guy throughout this series, and it turned when it was 45-45, late second quarter, 2:40, when Tobias Harris stepped in to a 3 with all of his body for an above-the-break 3, something he does not hit all that often. He only hit 2 of them in this game, but when it was a zone being run by Orlando, he got a bit of a back pick from Duren to just get all of his body steamrolled into it, and from then on, they didn't let go of the lead. And that's when the thing went from, he was, only had 8 points to that point, but then scored 11 for the rest of the quarter to get to 19 for him.
He was doing it not just with the 3 ball, obviously working in the post there, using his size. He shoots so high, so he hit a couple post jumpers, and then he scored inside, even a couple nice tough finishes at the rim. Yeah.
He got the ball stripped
Tobias
from him and
show.
still somehow made the jumper.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, right. And so this guy that's been kicked around the league a couple times now. This is his was this his 4th game 7 for him as well? He was 0-3 in game 7s, but comes through. And it, like, the whole sort of takeaway from the series, it felt like, well, it's Cade versus Paolo. These guys are stars. They brought it. Paolo, monster game 7, right? I mean, he put up their first 11 points, finished with 38, 9, and 6. But it's like Cade had help and Paolo did not over this last couple of games. A big part of that, Franz, you're right. Franz's defense on Cade would have slowed that down. And offensively, then you just trust him more than anything else you were getting from any other Magic player. I mean, Bane, pretty reserved game. I know he got some points at the end. It was all sort of too late. Suggs
brutal series.
Brutal series shooting the ball. So yeah, nobody to help Paolo, where Cade, as we went through, got a lot of help. He also led them there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, game 5 alone with the 45, game 6 bringing the team back from 24 down, which is still crazy. Like this was the Magic series. Yeah, Jamahl Mosley is still coaching into the second round if they win that game. Yes. And then obviously in game 7, Cade with another 32 and 12, incredible. He became the 7th player, I guess, in game 7 in NBA history to have a 30-10 game, 30 points, 10 assists at least. So joins
really good.
Not a lot of guys have done that. He was great.
Yeah, and Cade and Tobias, the 10th pair of teammates in NBA history to have 30 points in a game 7. Didn't think you'd pair Cade and Tobias Harris in the same sentence. But yeah, I thought after the way they lost game 1, when Cade was cooking himself with 39 points and the guys didn't come along, that this was over, but they did it enough to overcome the lack of support for the Magic. You mentioned Franz, Trey, the Jalen Suggs, obviously very bad, just not being able to splash anything. 2s and 3s everywhere on the floor. The guy shot 12 and a half shots per game, and he averaged 11 points because both 2s and 3s. He couldn't hit a thing.
Yeah.
So that was the unfortunate part.
I mean, Mosley got so desperate. He's like, all right, we got no Franz. Well, you're his brother. You get in there. Come on, Mo. And he gave him a bit of a spark. He played Mo Wagner type basketball. Like, obviously, getting into it and did hit a 3, right?
He hits one shot, and he is talking trash.
Oh, yeah. That's
one shot for Mo. Yeah, unfortunately, we're all hoping for somebody to contribute. And yeah, it was Mo Wagner. I thought Tristan Da Silva maybe would have been that guy because he did do that during the regular season. He's kind of like that. That Swiss Army knife that kind of did everything. And when Franz went out, I thought it'd be him. Didn't happen. But we got a great Jamal Cain dunk in this series. So they got some stuff.
I remember that.
So,
yeah, that was a good dunk. What was it, 121
something?
0.5 on the dunk
highest
score?
dunk score we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah, it was big. So let's just quickly go to the news here from the morning, and that is that the Magic did indeed fire Jamahl Mosley. This was expected. It was just we thought it was maybe going to happen a little quicker than it did. We didn't think they were going to even make the playoffs. And then they beat the Hornets in that crazy game and then take a 3-1 lead. And it's like, oh, this guy, okay, I guess he's okay. But then they blow it, and he is gone after 5 seasons. So they will now try and replace a head coach. And like that was sort of their only move it feels like they can make with this roster currently constructed, unless they like really move off of one of their core pieces. Absolutely. It's like, hey, new coach, see if you can figure this out. And also, can you try and keep all of us healthy at the same time? Because that's the other thing with this team. They're just
hire a new training staff.
They're never healthy altogether. Yeah. They're main pieces. But anything to add to Jamahl Mosley out after 5 seasons?
Well, you can see what's happening in the modern NBA. They're demanding their coach to have ball movement and player movement, and that's what's not happening with this offense. And you could see it in Jay Redick. Even if you're injured, guys will come out and do what they need to do. Quinn Snyder in Atlanta, where everybody is just all bought in. And you see this Magic offense, even though Paolo was awesome in Game 7, just not bought into moving bodies, moving the ball enough. It's a little too static.
It's like 4 seasons running now of being unable to unlock their offense, right?
Yeah. And I know the injuries are all part of it.
It is.
But still, as I said, the guys that I brought up, like a JJ Redick, you're seeing what currently in the playoffs, we're plucking guys off the bench, and they're still doing it extremely well. I don't know if it's the training staff. I don't know if they can't solve their oblique injuries or what, but yeah, the ball ain't moving. Players ain't moving. And in the modern NBA, you got to cover the floor way better.
Changing the coach is pretty easy. They say, see you later, Jamahl Mosley. Thanks for giving us our basement. We know how to play defense now. We're a respectable team. Then you got to get the coach that takes you over the top. Apparently, they are interested in the University of Michigan national championship winning coach, Dusty May. I don't know what he brings offensively, but he was in Florida for a little bit there. But I wonder if there are additional changes to come from this Magic team. They made the big Bane move last season, so they don't have a ton of assets to try and improve the team.
Yeah.
But things need to change. You heard Paolo in his post-game press conference. They asked him, do you think you have enough to win? And he's like, I'd like to say yes, but we lost in the first round 3 straight years. So the answer is no.
Yeah.
They don't.
We're not close to competing.
They're not
here.
even close.
Yeah.
Haven't won a playoff series yet. I think it would be foolish probably to trade Franz Wagner. I don't think they'll trade Paolo. I think when you see the way he plays in these big games, you can see he's actually their number 1 guy. But if they want to make any sort of changes to their roster, they're going to have to move off of Franz or Suggs or something like that. Like they're going to have to make a move of a piece of their core to try and get different like Lego blocks that they can ship here and there. So I don't know. The Celtics were in a similar position with Brown and Tatum for a long time. It's like, do these guys really fit? Do they fit? Do they fit? Let's try everything around them to maximize the window that we're given here. They eventually got a title out of it, and now, oddly enough, it's going to be a question again for them. But still, you think the Magic will probably do the same thing. Keep Paolo and Franz together, try everything they can around it, but that means somebody else has to go.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't...
And Suggs... He gone.
Yeah, probably, yes.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Let's get a real point guard. Let's get somebody who can really shoot.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah. And I was going to say, I don't see a scenario where like the Hawks traded for DeJounte Murray and then turned around and basically traded him out as soon as they could with Bane. I guess it could happen, but what was it, 4 first-round picks for Bane? So you would just like literally be saying, okay, we're not getting that in return, but you're whatever, you get 1 or 2, and you're like, we move on. I don't see that happening. This is like a front office and ownership here too that like they slow play it in Orlando. I mean, they do. And that's okay. I mean, you can build some continuity and obviously get the base and set it all in. You don't overreact. But so I don't think the Bane part, moving him, would be part of the equation. But other pieces, yes. And they have to. And we'll see what a new coach can do and maybe unlock some offense in them. Yeah, like you said, Tess, some movement. But you need shooting to make that happen too.
Yeah.
And they just don't have it.
Yeah, the question is, what team would take on Jalen Suggs right now? A lot of years left at a descending contract, sure, but it's 32, 29, and 26 for the next 3 seasons. And what are you getting back for that? Or are you just hoping you get a rotation in the roster, essentially? Because we're seeing what's happening to point guards who can't be their lead guys. We saw what you got for Trae Young. I don't know if you're really getting a lot back for Jalen Suggs. You're just hoping that someone takes him, essentially. Simple as that.
Jalen Suggs needs to take a page out of the Marcus Smart playbook and take complete 2 years off or something like that, and then hopefully come back and
get your body back.
Yeah, and be able. But he's a lot.
There was that 1 year he could shoot.
Yeah,
but
1 year.
Unfortunately, it's doesn't
Quickly
happen
for
very
Suggs,
often.
who says no?
The Raptors.
Orlando.
Quickly for Suggs.
Yeah.
What a trade. I mean, that's almost a realistic trade.
Why would the Raptors do that?
To get off Quickly's contract.
That
Suggs, it's literally trading for a similar contract.
Shorter.
1
And he
year
plays.
shorter.
Yeah.
Well, Quickly is a capable shooter.
I
Suggs
agree.
plays too. I mean,
He played this one, you know?
Yeah.
He played 7 playoff games.
Let's go
he's got the
to
heart, that's for sure.
Saturday night, guys. Philadelphia wins their first round series versus the Celtics. They come back from a 3-1 deficit. We had 2 of them happen this weekend. How many times did it happen in NBA history? Like, what was it, 13 times up until this weekend? And we had the 14th time and the 15th time. Teams coming back down 3-1. 76ers stunned the Celtics on Saturday night there to take Game 7. Let's start with a Paul Flannery quote here. Why was Luka Garza playing meaningful minutes, let alone starting a Game 7? Joe Mazzulla galaxy brained his team out of a chance to compete by giving one of the worst defensive centers in the NBA the starting nod in the most important game of the season. End quote. That's Paul Flannery. It wasn't just Garza. It was Harper Jr. It was Shireman. Like, Joe went nuts there with the starting lineup, and it didn't work, Tass. Those guys, they didn't even score, I don't think, the 3 guys that got the start there. And some of them obviously yanked for other guys. It was a Missoula Galaxy brain, I do believe that. But Embiid had it going from the start, and he's a huge reason why they got back in this series and won the damn thing. The guy returned halfway through and completely changed the tenor of the series.
Yeah, you can easily say that those starting lineup changes cost them the game in that they got down double digits right from the get-go. Was it Luka's fault? Or Ron Harper Jr.'s fault? No, but they were just sort of out of sync. I mean, Jaylen Brown, as good as he was, he throws a pass literally to the bench. Literally, he just throws it on to the. What up with that? He lost one out of bounds as well. So that start, which was also the Paul George spin on Derek White, that was some nasty stuff. So they got up double digits, and when Jaylen Brown went to the bench, those Celtics guys came back without him. That was impressive stuff from their bench guys. No Garza, no Ron Harper Jr. But Jaylen Brown was minus 19 in his first half minutes. Well, the team won without him by 14, and so that got us to the fourth quarter with Jaylen Brown versus Joel Embiid. Oh, that was peak
fun.
theater, man.
Oh yeah,
that was so good seeing both those guys go at it. Embiid taking a body to one leg and then another body to the other leg. It looked like he could have hyperextended both legs, but just hobbling down the court over and over and over again. They had the effort. Paul George had an illness to start this day. Apparently he fought through. He looked really, really good a lot of the time.
I know
So
Jason
super fun.
Tatum obviously finding out, what was it, like, I don't know, a couple hours before the game, but he wasn't playing.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that was a
Yes.
huge blow to the Celtics, and maybe why Missoula got crazy with the starting lineup. But look, the
guess.
Sixers really did win this series when Embiid returned, and he was awesome. So was Maxey. So was Paul George. VJ Edgecombe as a rookie in Game 7. Guy's a stud.
Yep.
Like, I love him. Absolutely love him. Not shook at all. and they got it done. It was a close game, though, Trey, down the stretch. I guess those 2 Maxey buckets were the difference makers at the end.
Yeah, Celtics were down 1 with like 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They got 3 pretty much wide open looks. Couldn't make any of them.
Yeah.
Final 5 minutes, they went 1 for 12, had 10 straight misses. Tough to play when you're coming back from behind the entire game. And they basically had to play 2 comebacks because it was a 9-0 start for Philadelphia. Unbelievable that he would start those 3 guys in this situation.
To me.
They hadn't played together a minute during the regular season. None of them scored.
Yeah, I guess the idea with Luka Garza starting over Nemish Keita was that guy just gets into foul trouble. Let's play him as few minutes
Also
as
true.
possible.
See if he can hit a 3. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing.
hope.
Keita started the second half, fouled immediately.
Yeah.
But then for some reason went back to Garza.
Yeah.
And guess what?
That was
Philadelphia put him in pick and roll twice.
he can't
Maxey
guard.
got 2 wide open jumpers. Suddenly a 5-point game is a 10-point game. We don't see Garza again. So they had to pull off 2 comebacks in game 7. It just doesn't make sense. Just exhausting. So this one to me is on presumed coach of the year, Joe Mazzulla, and maybe a little bit on executive of the year, Brad Stevens, because all of these guys who were so good in the regular season couldn't play. Vooch didn't even get off the floor or didn't even get off the bench.
Play.
No,
Yeah.
not a surprise to me. But Embiid, what a gutsy performance from this guy, and what a win in Game 2 that the Sixers had. That's the only reason this went to Game 7 was because they extended it long enough for Embiid to come back in Game 4 and look terrible. He got to have one bad game, knock off the rust, and then he dominated the rest of the series in 5, 6, and 7. Then, of course, Maxey slammed the door in the fourth quarter.
God.
Great performance by Philadelphia. Had to feel good for them to like finally get over the Boston hump.
Yeah, in 4 games, Embiid averaged 28 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, and probably even more impressive, he played nearly 37 minutes per game when he returned. Oh, yeah. And in Game 7, I thought he got injured about 8 different times.
Oh, man. Yeah.
There's a point in the game where they're literally stretching this guy out. Like, there's like a guy on every part of his body pulling it. What the hell? It looked insane.
So 3 trainers. There's literally 3 trainers stretching out the surgery scar from his appendicitis.
Right.
I don't know. I was like pulling it from the top, pulling from the bottom, and pulling from the knee. I don't know. Yeah, those are 3-man crew. It's like a pit crew.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, he obviously continued to play, and he became the first player in NBA history to miss 3 games of a 7-game series and still go for more than 100 total points because he put up numbers when he got back in there. But, man, Maxey, like Embiid, spectacular in Game 7 and all series. 30 points, 11 boards, 7 assists for Maxey. And he closed the door. Like, in a Game 7 where everybody is absolutely gassed, everybody looks like they are playing basketball underwater, the way they're moving. This guy, goddamn roadrunner, at the end of a game, blew by Keita on the left and then sort of sliced in front of him for the reverse layup. And then on the next possession, here comes Kelly Oubre Jr. He flipped the screen, little handoff action with him. He saw Keita, boom, by, got by him on the right side this time, and then squeezed past a couple help defenders, scored. He just hit the timely buckets when it looked like, as you said, Trey, the Celtics did generated good looks. That place was ready. It was exploding. It was ready to pop off if they could just hit one of those. That Pritchard one in particular. It was like, oh my God, how did he miss that?
Yeah.
He was almost too open. But Maxey just closed it. He was the closer. He was like the guy who went to the bullpen there at the end. But Embiid got them there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Maxey leading the league in minutes played in the playoffs. And just looks like he's never going to get tired.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
He's moving at the same speed in minute
awesome,
47
man.
as he is in minute 1. It is crazy.
Yeah, this is the Nick Nurse technique that always gets insulted. But all those guys in Game 7, 45 for Maxey, 44 minutes play for Edgecombe, 42 for Paul George, and Joel Embiid, a 39, rounded up to 40. Because
They got
don't
3
trust,
bench points.
Yeah, they don't trust their guys off the
Game
bench
7
in
win.
general.
3.
That'll be interesting against the Knickerbockers. Grimes, he definitely trusts. Otherwise, it depends on the matchups. Drummond versus Mitchell Robinson. We'll see some of that. But either way, all those guys played damn well. But that Jaylen Brown fun against Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter was so good.
Well, have you seen all the comments Jaylen Brown has had since
Yes.
on a Twitch stream?
That he had,
The main one being Embiid is a huge flopper, I guess, was getting some headlines. There was a lot more, too. He said a lot.
I think him saying that this was his favorite season of his career is getting the most headlines.
Yes.
Pretty weird.
because Tatum was not there.
Yeah,
and he
I got to be the number one guy. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And you won.
Well, you were the number one guy in Game 7. It wasn't that awesome for you.
Yeah, you got lit up by Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And Braun didn't have a good series. Not at all. In the regular season, from 3 to 10 feet, he shot 48%, 45% from 10 to 16. That's awesome. He was Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
He could not miss in the mid-range. And then in this series, he went 32% from 3 to 10 feet, 39% from 10 to 16, and didn't have very good efficiency. 10 offensive fouls in this series. He's complaining about that on Twitch as well, saying he's the only guy who gets called for the push-off. The Shai Gilgeous-Alexander arm extension. He's showing Paul George clips saying, why didn't they call that on Paul George if they called that on me? You know why? Because you're the one on Twitch complaining about it.
Yeah, it's difficult to debate which headline gets the most or is the biggest out of that Twitch stream, because he also called out 3 referees specifically that are out to get him. And this is the same night as he just lost. Like literally, like, showered and then got on Twitch. I mean, right after, it feels like. It was the same night. It was really weird. But yeah, also, I would go biggest headline, just picking this as your best season. I think that's the biggest. You know, you won a ship. It's not too long ago.
Well,
you were the
right.
finals MVP when you won a championship.
I mean, you can also twist that around, though. Like, it was supposed to be a gap year, and a lot of us, myself included, did not have the Celtics winning as many games as they did and being as high a seed as they were, and all that. Like, so, like, in a way, it's like, well, we were underdogs all year. I mean, for his entire run as a Celtics with Tatum and Brown, I mean, they're one of the favorites. They have been, and rightfully so, for like almost a decade running. So, you're the underdog this year, but I hear what you're saying. He was the lead guy, and he was an MVP, flirting top 5 MVP candidate for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that whole championship thing,
Well, yeah.
I'm with you, man.
Which he got his flowers, by the way, too,
course.
as Finals MVP.
Yep.
Yeah. So, just weird all around, weird series, and the Celtics too. I want to point this out. In their 4 losses, they shot 49 of 179 from deep. That's 27%, and yeah, they missed wide open looks, but this is the way they play. They're just like, they generally lose when they can't hit threes, and they didn't hit enough of them. Pritchard, I thought, was pretty bad in this series too. He had one good moment. That was it. We thought he would have much more of a bigger impact. Obviously, Derek White struggled for a majority of the series. He had his moments too, but there's that games 2, and then wasn't it game 5 too, where Sixers got back into that game, and it looked like the Celtics were going to maybe close it out. I think they trailed by like 13 in that game. In game 5. So good fight from them. Yeah. And they now go in to take on the Knicks here. Tonight. Quick turnaround.
Tonight.
So I should. Jalen Brown should have got Joe Mazzulla on the Twitch. That's what I wanted to hear about. The starters and how they got off to that huge double-digit deficit to start this game. Because home court, you turn things around, as we saw with Detroit, as we saw with Cleveland, and they almost did with Boston. But that was too big a hole to recover because, the Sixers were absolutely cooking.
Yeah, Tatum out, Kata out, Sam Hauser out in their place. Baylor Shireman, Luka Garza, and Ron Harper Jr. starting alongside Brown and White. As Celtics blog put it, Joe heard the calls for adjustments and went full Michael Keaton. You want to get nuts? Fine, let's get nuts. Smashing the thing behind him on the fireplace with the Joker there. Great timely reference for this Batman movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was spot on. He wanted to get nuts. He got nuts. And
he
was
played
bad.
himself.
Yeah.
That was too much.
Yeah.
Literally too much.
What, like, one of those is like, okay, yeah, well, obviously Tatum is out, so you got to find some, maybe it's Shireman, nobody blinks, whatever, or Walsh, or even Harper Jr., I guess. Like, the guards of it all is mind-boggling. I'm sorry. I know what you're thinking. Oh, yeah, like, he'll get a couple fouls. That's fine. We'll burn those fouls on Embiid, and maybe he hits a 3, but he just got exposed.
Yeah. In a regular season game, sure. Throw him up against Joel Embiid. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
They're going to bang some bodies.
Not game 7.
not game 7. Yeah.
No, not to the nurse, man. The nurse just got him moving, and it's over.
Yeah. Anything else on Sixers Celtics here?
A lot of buzz for Inside the NBA putting Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel on the Celtics gone fishing
Titanic
boat.
style.
Titanic style.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
And Billy Boy was there too.
And
So
Billy
it's-
Boy
he's
was
always
there.
on it, I think.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's there.
Yeah,
But they'd never addressed their names. Did not say their names.
Well, that's what made it
There's some
10
other
times
people on the
funnier.
boat.
Yeah, Barkley wanted to. I think he was looking up. Oh, what's their names? What are their
didn't
names
know
again?
their names.
Yeah, he had to look it up. And Ernie's like, "Let's get out of here." I thought Derek White with that cut he had on his hand. It was like a semi blister. It was like sort of on the heel of his hand, and he was blowing it. But he also put a finger on it, like literally, like looked like he was trying to stop that thing. Just fighting through it. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I mean, that was just, I guess it was a floor burn.
Yeah.
And then just trying to like stop it with with his thumb was pretty funny.
Otherwise, that's in a tough spot to bandage up. Was Reggie on that call too? Did they do a back-to-back? Now I think
Was
about it.
he on Saturday? I don't remember.
Can't remember.
Don't
Anyway,
remember my
whoever
ears.
was on the call
Probably.
there, they're like, that's going to be a tough one to bandage up.
Yeah.
But, he did have a decent game, Derek White, right?
Yeah.
In terms of shooting it, at least. Finished 9 of 26, but hit 5 threes. Actually did hit some threes because he had a bad series too. He had a bad regular season. And VJ Edgecombe, just go back to him. He averaged 23, 6, and 4. He's 20 years old.
Pretty good.
I mean,
Yeah.
like he basically did what Tatum did in a game 7. Like Tatum, when he was 21 years old, at that age, young guy, had some big game 7s, I remember. And that's what VJ Edgecombe just did. And like I know in terms of the storylines, he's like 3rd or 4th, and that's completely fine because it is Embiid, and then it's Maxey, and then it is Paul George playing sort of 2 all-NBA All-Stars on the other side to a wash at least. And then it's Edgecombe, so it's like low down, but I don't want to gloss over it because Guy is a goddamn superstar in the making too. Great game, great series from him. And now we'll see if he can continue to do it in Madison Square Garden. Because if you have a couple of those monster games in Madison Square Garden, you can skyrocket your popularity in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into that series in a second. Let's take a quick break. Hear from our sponsor.
Got a big boy points parlay for you on a Monday night.
Big boy points.
Big boy points parlay. Embiid, Towns, Wemby, 20 or more points. And Rudy Gobert to score 10 or more.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to give you odds on 20 or more for
no,
Rudy.
no,
No way they'll do that.
Don't do that.
That's too many.
Plus 5 will win on the duel.
Okay.
Embiid, Towns, Wemby, 20 or more. Rudy, 10 or more. Where am I going wrong there? Probably one of the Embiid or Towns.
I think so too.
Yeah. One of them will do well
Maybe.
against each other.
You could
Yeah.
see like an 18, 19 point game from one of them.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't mind it.
When every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action, from player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up on your big boy points parlay. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check stats, trends, and matchups all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game.
Play your game, indeed. Okay. We're down to the final 8 in the NBA playoffs. Just like that. 8 teams left. One of these 8 teams is going to win the NBA championship. 2 series tipped tonight, 2 more on Tuesday. I think we have the bracket. We can throw it up there for everybody on YouTube at the very least. Check some logos. Check some numbers. Look at that nice shiny LOB right in the middle. So let's get to previewing and predicting these suckers. We're going to start in the East. Sixers and Knicks will meet in the second round of the playoffs. Hella quick turnaround for Philly after taking down the Celtics on Saturday. No rest for the wicked. In case you forgot, these two saw each other 2 years ago in what I remember as a classic first round series that the Knicks eventually won in 6. There was a lot going on in that series.
Yep.
So the Sixers haven't forgotten about that. The Knicks don't care. Here we go. One thing to watch for. I'm going to start with you, Trey, in the Knicks-Sixers second round matchup.
Well, part of my big boy points parlay, Karl Anthony Towns versus Joel Embiid. I can't wait to see these guys go against each other. Embiid's playing pretty well right now. Cat played 3 great games against the Atlanta Hawks and was really, I don't know, I mean, maybe OG Anunoby's the MVP of that series, but maybe it was Karl Anthony Towns. Either way, Cat's playing well, Embiid is playing well. These guys have had spicy battles in the past. They've gone at each other on Instagram in the past as well. I got a little concern for Embiid's health. They're going to be playing every other day. I forget who it was trying to take a charge at the end of Game 7, fell right into Embiid's leg.
Yeah.
Was it Grimes, maybe? I don't know. And it was like, oh my goodness.
God, I know.
Embiid just plays this awesome series, drags the team back. They win a 3-1 comeback, and now he's going to be out for the next series. I've looked at Joel Embiid's status a lot of times since then. Nothing yet.
Yeah.
Nothing yet. All good. all good. But I think that'll be fun to watch those two going against each other, since I imagine they'll guard each other for the most part, since it'll be weird to put Embiid. Like, a lot of teams like to put a wing on Karl Anthony Towns and say, center, go guard Josh Hart.
Right.
That's weirder with Embiid. That dude don't move very well. I mean, you don't want him trying to chase Hart all over the place. Also, a big series where Karl Anthony Towns could get in foul trouble. We know that,
of course,
Embiid draws a lot of fouls. Cat loves to foul. You can even throw in Mitchell Robinson here with the bit of a skirmish he had with Mitchell Robinson during this playoff series where Mitch yanked his leg, et cetera, et cetera. So I think the big boys are really drawing me in for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, even if Cat goes to the bench, here comes Mitchie. Because in that series, he yanked Cat's, or Embiid's foot, I should say. But also Embiid was banging Mitchell Robinson hardcore, hit him with an elbow. I think it was game 5 where the Knicks were up 6 with 28 seconds left, and it went to overtime. It was super fun. Lots of elbows will be thrown, but it is interesting to see how Embiid will guard Cat, because if we get Mike Brown putting Cat way on the perimeter just to get Embiid out there, number one, to see those cuts being cut well behind Joel Embiid, but also I'm sure you're going to see lots of Jalen Brunson being able to go at Joel Embiid. So they're going to try and get him moving as much as possible. And whether Cat can be that sort of that pillar, just finding guys out there like he did in games 4, 5, and 6 against the Atlanta Hawks, 10 assists, 6 assists, 10 assists, most of them to OG Anunoby. Game 4, 60% of his assists to OG, and they kept going up. So there's that matchup. But then here comes Mitchell, which you can play alongside Karl Anthony Towns too in those matchups, because you saw Mike Brown sprinkling them in a little bit as the series went on. Now you can't have him guard like a Karl Anthony Towns guard Paul George, and that ain't going to happen.
Right.
That's too much. But I think there's going to be some of those matchups. So there's lots of bodies, and the good thing for Mike Brown, multiple bodies you can throw at Joel Embiid to try and wear him down. But yeah, we all question his legs. I just hate talking about it, because maybe it was Quentin Grimes hit one leg, but another guy hit another leg. Both his knees could have easily been hyperextended in that game. So yeah, it is that matchup to start for sure.
I am excited to see how much, whether the Knicks continue to get Towns the ball more and just have him operate sort of in the middle of the court, as we saw up top. Zach Cram had the percentages. His on-ball percentage in those 3 wins versus Atlanta ranked 3rd, 4th, and 6th out of 170 games Cat has played as a Knick. So just like getting the ball, the on-ball percentage, and having him find all these cutters and just getting them touches and involved in the action, you would think they'd continue with this game plan. It looked great. Now, Atlanta, they were small. And obviously the Sixers have a lot more size. You've got Embiid. You do have Drummond, and going to get some minutes off the bench, I'm sure, either against Mitchell Robinson or in other matchups. Maybe even Barlow plays more in this one for Philadelphia, just size-wise. But
with a little Bona on the side,
a little
there's
Bona.
some bodies.
Little Bona on the side, huh?
Yeah, and then we're looking at the bigs, but then we do have an awesome point guard matchup and 2 All-NBA guys in Maxine Brunson. And, the impact they can have, or are they just going to sort of wash each other out here? And it feels like you can almost put those guys in every night for 25 to 30 points. They go about it differently, but sort of the outcome is usually the same for them.
Yeah, I don't know who has a better chance of stopping the other one. Like, the Knicks trying to stop Maxey seems kind of tough to me. They don't really have a super quick...
Like, Bridges will be
the guy, I think, that gets the first shot at him. I'm sure they'll try Josh Hart as well from like an effort and physicality standpoint, but Maxey's quickness is probably a little too much for Hart, so I think they would try Bridges, but I mean, maybe that means Jose Alvarado becomes important in this series, just a guy to chase him around on the other side. Like Oubre, if I'm recalling correctly, this was 2024, right? They played again the first time. Like Oubre did a good job on Jaylen Brown through 3 games, and then Jaylen Brown had 40 straight.
That's right.
In 3 straight games to close it out. I
think VJ Edgecombe's going to get a lot of Brunson matchups.
He absolutely should.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But still, I'm with you. I think they probably actually end up kind of canceling each other out.
Right.
Like they're probably both average 30 a game because there's not a good matchup on either side. But I don't know. I for whatever reason, I give the 76ers a better chance of stopping Brunson than the other way around. Who knows?
Maybe.
Literally, who knows?
Yeah. You'll see some Deuce, I think, on Maxey, too. Deuce McBride was good off the bench. He was the CJ McCollum stopper. That didn't work out when he came off the bench. So, yeah, the bench is super fun. And I know everybody just starts with the Embiid injury side of things. But I think it is important with the Sixers because I think the Knicks bench is just a better bench.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, that's the
depth
the
could
worry.
play a part here for sure. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of X factors then in this series. If we're saying the stars sort of maybe potentially cancel each other out, it's, in the margins where maybe this will be decided. Let's start with you, TK. Who's your big X factor from either side?
I think there's two swing matchups because I'm with you. I think Brunson and Maxey cancel each other out. Embiid and Towns cancel each other out. So OG versus PG, that's huge. They were both
awesome.
Key to them winning in the first round. Two-way play. I don't think OG Anunoby is going to get as many back cuts as he got against the Atlanta Hawks. Like Paul George will be on that for sure. And then the other swing matchup has got to be, I don't necessarily know if they're going to be matched up all the time, but same positions, Bridges and VJ Edgecombe. Bridges disappears, man. Like he just does. He had an awesome game 6 in that monster blowout against the Hawks, so maybe he's got a little bit of confidence back, but they need him to be aggressive, looking to score, because Edgecombe's going to be aggressive, looking to score. He has a weird series, too. Like, what'd you say he averaged in wins? He was like 25 a game, but he averaged 15 a game for the series because he had a couple of 10 points, a single-digit game as well. The guy's a rookie, so we don't expect the consistency the way you should expect it from a Mikal Bridges, but they both raise the ceilings of their teams. They both make a lot of plays defensively, so I think whoever comes out on top between OG and PG and then Bridges and VJ kind of is going to swing the series. Like, if both of those tilt to the Sixers, if both of those tilt towards the Knicks, that's the team that wins.
Yeah, that's why I worry about what Quentin Grimes can do for the Philadelphia 76ers, because you get some VJ, games. But Grimes has to be really, really big off the bench, because if you match up, look at the matchups bench to bench, the Knicks kicked ass, and it was the Atlanta Hawks in the first round, but they did it in so many different ways. It was Deuce, Alvarado, Mitchell Robinson's going to be big, Jordan Clarkson. While the Sixers, beyond Grimes, are you going to get a good Justin Edwards or Adam Boner or Andre Drummond or Dominic Barlow? That's a huge question mark. So Grimes, I think, is very, very, very important as to being super steady throughout this series to fill in for a potential injury or just somebody who's not having a great game. Yeah. VJ. PG is absolutely cooking, so I don't want to question him. But will he wear down at some point? I guess not. I guess those 25 games off really, really helped him. So it's up to Quentin Grimes, I think, just to fill in really well.
I do like wondering which G falls back to earth, OG or PG, because these guys were like lights out in the first round. OG Anunoby turned the ball over twice in 214 minutes versus the Hawks. Averaged 21 and 9, 2 steals, a block. His shooting splits were 61, 57, and 77. So, and he was doing obviously all this stuff defensively too. So he is on another level right now, to the point where, like, if OG plays like that, I don't see the Knicks losing 4 out of 7 times, because like those are superstar sort of numbers, what he's doing. But can he keep it up? And then, PG sort of same thing. Awesome. Elite series. He got to keep going. But he had a bunch of time off this year, so that maybe works in his favor. But for me, the ultimate X factor, and I look at it from the Sixers side of things because the Knicks are the favorites here, Kelly Oubre Jr. has to hit some shots, I think, for them to pull out 4 of 7 games, because he did not have a great shooting series versus Boston, and they still won. Shot 40% from the floor, and he only hit 4 of 25 3-points. They're going to 3-point attempts. Like, they're going to be there. He's got to keep shooting them. He will. He's a confident guy. It's got to be a bit better than that for them to get by this team in New York. But he'll have some big games, I think, and could still have some big games. So I'll go him as an X factor here for the Sixers side of things. Yeah. Because he's got to play too. He's got to play because they don't have a lot of guys. One, and he's been great defensively and effort wise and all that. He's got to give him he got a game or two where Kelly Oubre Jr. hits some threes would be huge for Philly to pull off this upset. Let's get to predictions. TK, is this a long series, short series, and who wins?
I think it's going to be a long series, and I think it's pretty funny that Joel Embiid was begging Sixers fans, do not sell your tickets to anybody from New York. Sixers came out and are putting restrictions on the tickets. Orders by residents outside the greater Philadelphia area will be canceled without notice and refunds given. They said, do not bring Madison Square Garden here.
Yeah, it's an Amtrak right away.
Exactly. Knicks fans are going to sneak in, though. They're going to find a way. It's going to still be heavy Knicks. Absolutely.
Yeah.
62% of the stream team is saying Knicks, and I'm saying Sixers in 7.
Sixers.
Wow.
Joel Embiid to the conference finals.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
This will be the first time a team actually gets healthy at the right time and like hits their peak.
Oh, God.
I'm counting on it.
Oh, God. Again, this guy nearly got injured 8 times in Game 7.
That's okay, but he didn't.
He did it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's so bad with Joel Embiid. His kid is losing teeth. I mean, like everybody's injury prone on this in this family. I'm kidding, of course.
What do you mean his kid?
Yeah, his kid lost a tooth because he's getting older, I guess.
I didn't
he
see
said,
that.
"Hey, Dad, I lost a tooth" when he was holding him there.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
All right, you got Sixers in 7.
Yep.
He's taking the upset.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Okay.
I'm just buying the Knicks in this new revitalized offense with Karl Anthony Towns being utilized and getting a lot out of him. Whether or not they go to that immediately, I don't know if that's the exact same thing because you can just sort of rely on Jalen Brunson. But Karl Anthony Towns has to be more of that. It is a monstrous guy that he'll be playing against. So maybe that will be reduced a little bit. That being said, I can't bet against him. I just can't. But I'll go 7. Maybe I'm just high on the 7-game series that we just watched.
Right.
And I think that's respect enough to the Philadelphia 76ers.
You're going Knicks in 7.
Yep.
Go in the distance. Madison Square Garden. What would that be? I assume that'll be on a weekend when we get to a Game 7, right?
Yeah,
Man,
I
that'd be
mean,
nice.
they're out there.
I'm going Knicks as well, but Knicks and 6 is the picks for me. But a very competitive series. I got New York winning this though, and I'll go in 6 instead of 7. But man, I'm hoping for 7 instead. I just think the way they're playing right now and just the OG leveling up and the depth is going to play a part here because like the Sixers are playing 6 half guys. I mean, again, I'm saying Drummond's going to play, but like that's like 10 minutes maybe. You know what I mean? And maybe a little bit more
shooting on the court.
Yeah, those threes from the corner. I just think there's more likely, like even like Landry Shamet might get dusted off to like pick up Maxey and hound him a little bit and try and see if he can hit 3. Like just more pieces that Brown can go to get a little jolt as the game goes on or that second quarter stretch or whatever. So I'll go Knicks and 6, Knicks and 7. TK swerving, I love it. Sixers and 7. And Embiid to the conference finals, man. Look, if he stays healthy, this is a huge part of this. I mean,
yes,
it's every other night, like you said. By God.
Yeah.
And he's battling some big dudes, and obviously in a competitive environment. Hopefully, knock on wood, that he does, because we'd want to see a competitive series. I hope he can play the whole thing.
The Sixers should just steal Landry Shamet for like a game. See if anyone notices. He's played for the Sixers. He's got a Shamet jersey. Will anyone notice if he's playing 10 minutes? Get out there. Get out there and play.
I mean, he would get some minutes for sure.
Yeah, he would.
Nick Nurse, even though Nick Nurse loves
Jared
his starters.
McCain. Bring Jared McCain back.
Oh, wow.
Let's see if he can sneak in.
Okay, so let's hear from you guys. You said what, like 62% you said?
62 on the Knicks.
Okay, on YouTube Live there. All right, love it. Let's move to the Western Conference Semifinals. Going to feature a battle of the French bigs. Look at that on the graphic from ESPN. Gobert, Wemby, crouch mode.
Baron J.
That's right. Yeah, there's a third
The
one.
next one.
Yeah. The Wolves enter the series banged up after losing Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo in round 1, while the Spurs, after a Wemby concussion scare, beat the Blazers relatively easy in 5 games. So Minnesota trying to reach the Western Conference Finals for the 3rd consecutive season. San Antonio is bidding for its first trip there since 2017. You got to go pretty far back. One thing to watch for here in Spurs Timberwolves, and I will say, Anthony Edwards is questionable for game 1.
That's the thing to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I step on it then. Yeah.
Well, no. Will he come back? Labeled as questionable the day before. It's only 9 days ago that he suffered that hyperextension bone bruise in his knee. But we've seen other guys come back from hyperextensions. This ain't quite the finals when Giannis came back from that hyperextension. That was only 7 days. So this bodes well for Anthony Edwards. I will say he needs to come in, and whether he's a decoy in the first game and not playing extremely well, like Giannis only had 20 in game 1 of the NBA Finals, but then turned it on. I think that's important because Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels, they've got a size advantage, which is fantastic against Champagny. Probably Stephon Castle, who's really physically tough and will get out there against them. That being said, it's hard to buy into those guys as number 1 and number 2 options in taking down the San Antonio Spurs. As good as Jaden McDaniels was to finish that series in round 1 against Denver, this is different. It's the San Antonio
defense.
Spurs. Yeah, it's a fantastic defense overall. But Jaden McDaniels got height. Like he can literally go up against either of those guys into that mid-range if he's gonna be a number one option, 30-point per game scorer like he was to end the series. He could do that physically, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do that just as a steady dose of an option on an offense. So I need Ant to come back to give this a series. Now, he can come back. Again, decoy game one and then turn it on. He had a 55 against San Antonio Spurs this year in that one game. So he feels comfortable like going absolutely right at Victor Wembanyama. But it all depends on the leg. So, it's 9 days. I guess that's good.
Yeah, I mean, he's questionable. So at least that's good.
I think he's going to return this series, whether
he's
it's
going to
game
play
one
the
tonight or
series.
not. Yeah.
I watched the video on his YouTube channel. It ends with Ant-Man is coming. Believe that. I do believe that.
Okay, I believe that.
Yeah,
So
he will be back.
A hype video?
He's got like a Derrick Rose the Return style video for coming
goodness.
back.
A quick turnaround by the production team.
It's very well done.
Wow.
A lot of elements.
Oh
Good.
my God.
A lot of unlicensed footage. I wonder if they're going to be able to monetize that. But it was good. Recommended. But that is something that I think is super important is like the Timberwolves stealing one of these first two games in San Antonio is big. I don't know if that means a McDaniels carry job or a Randall carry job. I feel like it's got to be one of those two guys just stealing a game, biding time for Anthony Edwards to get healthy. Similar to like Embiid coming back, right? Like the Sixers winning that game too made it so that when Embiid came back in game 4, even if he was bad, which he was, it wasn't the end of the series. That wasn't like, we need you to be perfect or else we're getting swept here. Knock off the rust. Give it a shot. Game 4 is this Sunday. That'll be 15 days since Anthony Edwards' injury.
Okay.
That seems reasonable to me
2 weeks.
for a guy that they all called Wolverine in this video because he heals so quickly. Haven't heard anything about Ayo Dosunmu. They say he's day-to-day. Ant is considered week-to-week. Getting him back would be big as well, just from a body standpoint, because I don't know if you can rely on Terrence Shannon Jr. I think Mike Conley is going to probably have some trouble going against a very physical, athletic Spurs backcourt as well. So Ant's status looms large over this series.
It does.
A hype video for a game 4 return? That's weird.
He's coming.
Why would they do that? Why would they do it so early? That's kind of weird. Don't you think?
Maybe he'll play game 1.
I
maybe.
feel like that's happening. Just feels right. I mean, to be dropping that video, I didn't even know that was coming. And then he was so good, especially with Ayo out. You need Anthony Edwards. Io's out. I shouldn't say out, but questionable.
Yeah.
You need Anthony Edwards in this series.
Yes, they definitely. I think most people would agree they need Ant to, at some point to return to the series to probably beat the Spurs in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
I don't think they could win 4 or 7 without him entirely. I don't think so. But, and this is ironic because Wemby's 7'5". The one thing the Spurs lack is sort of size outside of center, right? Again, outside of Wemby and Luke Cornett. And that I'm fascinated to see or watch like how much mileage, I guess, the Wolves get out of their big boys that we saw, especially in games in the last game 6 against the Nuggets of Randall, Reed, Gobert. Then you've got McDaniels still. He's a big dude for his position. And then even Shannon Jr. being slotted in there. That's a big lineup. And the Wolves have to obviously take advantage of that. Randall's probably the cover on Wemby. He's done it before. It's like, it's not going to be Gobert a lot. There'll be times. But those guys, I don't think will be matched up like every possession against each other. Quite the contrary, I think. Wemby roaming on other guys, and obviously I think Randall might get a lot of minutes on Wemby. And, he's physical, and it's sort of, at times can be the right strategy. But Wemby's so cerebral, he'll start to unlock it, and obviously can stretch the floor. But I'm watching that. I'm watching that for sure. The Wolves taking advantage of their size across all the other positions here.
Yeah, the Blazers tried that. They put Klingon on Castle, and as soon as Castle realized what was going on, it was just an alley-oop to Wemby every single play.
Yeah,
so
true.
I'm with you. I do think they'll try Randall on Wemby, Gobert on Castle, but I think it ultimately will come down to Wemby versus Gobert for the big man matchup. Pretty cool. Like, this is
awesome.
a mentor-protege relationship. Gobert apparently met Wemby when he was 13 years old. He's like, oh, he's just a shorty. He's only 5'11". But then he found out he was 13 years old. He's like, what? What? Wait a second here. Gobert's also coming off like the best defensive series of his life.
Yeah.
Totally different player.
Yeah.
Wemby versus Jokic, just the way they attack and the sizes of their bodies and the way they want to get things done. So that should be pretty sweet to watch.
Absolutely. X Factors. Let's start with you here. Spurs-Wolves.
Well, I'll just extend on what you just said. I think the other guys, other than Rudy Gobert guarding Wemby, is important because these guys play at one back, watch their only game, I should say, this season. And Wemby was dancing around Rudy. He's too quick for him. And so he was able to score in that first half they played. I think he scored 16. And then they sat Rudy in the fourth quarter when they needed to come back, and they threw out the Reed, the Randall, and the McDaniels against him. And they did really well. They came back. They won. And Victor Wembanyama was 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter with those bodies of Reed, McDaniels, and Randall. Big guys. And it was a very different game out there. So those guys, they do like to fight. They do like to scrap. And so Wemby's going to see that. And they just have a little bit more agility than Rudy Gobert. But that matchup is going to be the whole thing when it comes down to it. And I imagine, the Timberwolves are going to want to get Wemby out of the paint as much as possible. And so I think we will see a lot of guys not named Rudy just to get some space out there to be able to get to the rim as much as possible.
Who do you have as an X factor?
I don't know who to consider my X factor because it's more of a time frame. Wemby played 28 minutes a game in their first round series. He's probably going to play more than that. This should be a more competitive series than against the Trailblazers, but still, he's not going to play 40 minutes a game. So those minutes he sits, who's the man for the San Antonio Spurs? It's going to come down to Harper and Fox because Castle, I think, is in the mix as well, but he's tied to Wemby quite a bit, whereas Harper gets a big leash when Castle goes to the bench. Fox obviously can't become a go-to scorer for them, but the defense gets worse when Wemby sits, obviously, because, Luke Cornett, he's a good backup center, but he ain't Wemby. And it just becomes harder defensively, harder offensively for a Timberwolves team that was super locked in the series against the Nuggets. The Nuggets had the best offense in the league, and they couldn't get looks against this Timberwolves team. The Spurs have a lot more athleticism on the perimeter than Denver did. They've got a lot more physicality on the perimeter than Denver did, but this is still an uptick in competition for all of these young Spurs that we're talking about. Castle, Harper, Fox is going to be, Fox is different, but still, this is another level of competition for everybody involved. Somebody's going to have to carry the team when Wemby sits for his 15 minutes a game.
Yep. And the Spurs led all teams in the first round when it came to three-point shooting. They were on fire against the Blazers. They shot nearly 42% as a team. And it's funny because their one guy that struggled from three was their best three-point shooter in the regular season, Devin Vassell. A lot of attempts, but he struggled. He only shot 29% from three. Everybody else, though, pretty damn good on a lot of attempts. Fox, Castle, Champagnie, Wemby himself, Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson. So the Wolves are going to pray that three of those guys, half of them, can't hit at that clip like they did against the Portland Trailblazers. And they're generating good looks, and they all are fairly good shooters. I have a lot of confidence in most of those guys, but they need a couple of them to go ice cold here. So that's a big X factor. They got to pray that, when the game's a little tighter or whatever, maybe they're in Minnesota with a great, great crowd, and this is no knock against the Blazers fans, but, that Target Center gets damn loud, that there's some tightening on some of those shots and some rushing on some of those shots, and they just don't hit. Because if they hit at that percentage, of course, they could beat anybody when you pair that with Wemby and then Fox in the clutch and Harper and Castle. They get to take turns. This is such a luxury for them. I've said this before. It's like, the Spurs enter a game, they got Wemby, they know they're set, and they know they're going to fight defensively. But then they're like, okay, which one of our three guards is going to be the unstoppable second star tonight alongside Wemby? Fox, Harper, or Castle? They literally just take turns. And some nights it's two of them contributing. So good luck to the Wolves in trying to shut that off. But, look, they're playing as this underdog mentality, coming in with all the injuries too. Dante DiVincenzo would help a ton in this series to cancel out some of those three-point shooters on the Spurs side of things, but he's not coming back. So we'll see. Let's get to predictions. Where are you going?
Yeah, that Wolves injuries suck, especially if Io's out with a calf injury. I'm banking on the recovery of his calf and this hype video for Anthony Edwards for those guys to be at least playing. So I do expect this to be a long series. Okay. I'm buying into the fight of the wolf. To make this, I'll say 6. Let's go that far. Extend the series. I know it sounds like I'm saying 7, but I'll say the Spurs in 6.
Oh, I thought you were taking Wolves.
Yeah, no, I'm not a crazy man.
Classic Millis.
No, I'm not. Well, come on, extend. Listen, the Spurs should destroy this series. They should. We don't know if Anthony Edwards is going to be healthy. We don't know if Io's going to be healthy. So, yeah, they should I don't know what the stream team is saying, but I imagine they're going.
They're heavy Spurs. 83% Spurs.
Wow.
Yeah.
As it's hard to pick the Timberwolves without Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if Io stays out for the whole series and Ant plays the whole series, like, I think you could make a great case for the Timberwolves. But we've seen the Spurs defense give good guards trouble. And Timberwolves are going to be playing like their third and fourth string as their starters. So I find that tough. Give me, I guess I'm Spurs in 6 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spurs in 6.
Yeah.
Wolves in 7, baby. Wolves in 7.
Great. Somebody
back
had to
to
do
the
it.
conference finals. Ant's returning. I don't know when, but he's coming back.
He's going to play.
And he's
made a
gonna
video.
cook.
The guy made a video.
Guy made a video. No, look, I get every Wolves prediction wrong. Over the last couple of years, I'm wrong every single time in trying to figure this team out, and I'm usually going against them. But obviously the fight they showed in round 1, losing guys left and right as that series went on, but still taking care of Denver. Now I know San Antonio is better than Denver. They are, but they are young. And yeah, they had the Blazers, but this is a team that's obviously been there, done that. These guys have gone through a lot of wars, been down big in game 7s, come back, big downs in series, come back. And I think they almost like flourish under this underdog role of like, oh, okay, well, let's see the printout. Oh, Spurs in 5, Spurs in 6, Spurs in 6, Spurs in 5, Spurs in 7. Like, there's not going to be a lot of people picking the Wolves, but I think they can do it here because they're going to play, they're going to defend. So they're always going to give themselves a chance and they're going to be competitive that way. But they need to pray and hope that some of those Spurs shooters just dry up here. That's like I have to go back to that. But I'll go Wolves in 7 in a very long series and a competitive series with Ant coming back. I don't know if he comes back tonight, but coming back in the series and having an impact, of course. There we go. We got some different picks for once.
Excellent.
In the second round. What did I say? I said that would happen. Let's hear from you. You said most of the people picking the Spurs in the stream team.
Yeah. 80+%.
Unfortunately, it does feel inevitable that the 1-2 happens in the West. And I know we'll get to the Lakers Thunder series tomorrow and break that one down, but a lot of people are going, that could be the NBA Finals. Really. 1-2, OKC San Antonio. But I'm saying no. Wolves in 7. Go Joe Mandy. Do it for Joe Mandy. Little bit of the night, sponsored by Young Pep Dash.
Whoa.
Young Pep Dash says, I guess I would just like to give a shout out to the whole Tweet of the Week army, and Lee Ellis, and Russell Westbrook, and a special happy wedding anniversary shout out to Matty O and Jill. What a memory on Young Pep Dash.
Impressive.
May
Very
4th
impressive.
was the wedding. We were all there, ripping up the dance floor, screaming our goddamn lungs out.
I lost my voice.
We all, you and I especially lost our voice. But continuing with Young Pep Dash here, peace and love to everybody listening. That's very nice. And generally thank you for you guys being awesome. Thank you, Young Pep Dash. Thank you for sponsoring Will Boy. I was going to give it to Cade, but I said, you know what? Tobias Harris. That's right. Tobias Harris, this call is coming in. And you get Will Boy. Whoa, where'd you go, Toby? Come on back. Come on back, Toby.
Come on, Toby.
There he is. 30 points, 11 of 18 from the floor, 5 3-pointers, 9 boards, 3 steals, 2 assists, 1 block in 36 minutes of action. What a game from Tobias Harris in Game 7 to help his team advance.
Clutch.
Yeah.
He looks old in this photo.
Well, yeah.
He looks ancient.
How many years has this guy played? 14 years?
He was a young
been
guy
around
when
a
he
long
came
time.
in, yeah. So he's probably not as old as I'm thinking, but he looks like he's 80 in that photo.
Hold on. 14
33.
seasons, I said. Is that right?
He was drafted in 2011. Oh,
Yeah.
15 seasons.
Oh, even more.
that's a lot of years.
I mean, I think it's the color of his skin. I think it's the color Skeets chooses.
That's not me. What are you talking about?
The big
I don't take the photo
I know you don't take the
for
photo.
Imagine Images. I don't have a side
I didn't
gig
say
here.
that. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is you edit the photo, you put your little flare on it. You know,
Little filter?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a filter. That's shout out to our guy, Matt Houston. That's a Matt Houston filter.
It's a Houston?
That's a Houston, baby.
Nice. I love his restaurants. And his filters are good too.
Yeah. What a game from Toby. Thank you, Young Pep Dash, for sponsoring Will Boy. Thank you to everybody for joining us here today. I really appreciate that. Hit the like button, subscribe, 5-star ratings and reviews. We're back tomorrow to recap game 1s of tonight's semifinals. Those 2 series we just talked about get underway. A lot of people are upset. What's with the time starts? Why aren't these games staggered? We got an 8 p.m. and we got 9:30. And people are like, What up with that, Adam Silver?
What up with that?
I guess they just want the New York Knicks in prime time, baby. 8 o'clock start there, and then you can't go too late for San Antonio. So I think that's the thinking. A little weird. You wish it was maybe 7 and 9:30 or something like that, but it's not.
It's not.
No,
Deal
it's
with
not.
It.
It's
Wow.
not.
I hadn't even really considered this yet, that the Lakers are the only team that's like really
Super
far
West
west.
Coast.
Yeah, everything else is
Yeah,
Midwest and
you're
East.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. OKC and Minnesota, the other teams that'll be having it. Yep. So tomorrow we will talk about those game ones, like I said, and we will preview and predict the Thunder Lakers and the Pistons Cavaliers series. So join us then. Till then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, 8 o'clock Eastern and 9:30 Eastern.
You didn't know?
I didn't know that.
No.
I'm busy watching NHL right now. They stagger them really well.
Oh,
there.
do they?
Yeah.
Who's looking good?
The Hurricanes are always looking good.
My guy Tom?
Tom Dundon knows what he's doing. They turn that franchise around.
I heard they have to share a stick because he's such a cheapskate.
When you skate off, you hand it to the next
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
No,
There's
yeah,
only 5 sticks.
yeah, you just pass it to the next
Yeah,
guy
just
on the ice and just throw it to him. Hey, you shoot it.
Yeah, I like that. All right, go. So who's the good team in the hockey right now? It's Canes?
The hockey.
the
The
good
Carolina Hurricanes.
Didn't the Canadians advance? Lone Canadian team, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
they
Beat the
won.
Lightning. Beat
Yeah,
the Lightning.
they beat them in Game 7.
There we go. Well, that's huge.
Really not. Well, there was a 9-6 game last night. How about that hockey game?
Tough for the goalies. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Brace the day.